The gravy train is permanently stopping for single divorced mothers thanks to new laws cutting off their meal tickets, apparently. We've got a banger for you here today from the Modern King to check out. Compliments of Locke the Bounty Hunter. Links to the channels are down below. Let's jump into it.
So Kentucky just shocked the nation with a 25% drop in divorces. But the question, of course, is how and what exactly changed within the past few years. Well, back in 2018, Kentucky became the first state to flip the script when it came to custody. You see, instead of automatically giving the mom primary custody and dad every other weekend Disney dad role, as many of you have seen over and over again, the law made 50-50 custody the default. Unless there's proof of real abuse or neglect, the court starts from equal parenting time.
The fact that the divorce court system automatically defaults to giving mothers sole custody of the kids, regardless of the context, really does show how broken the system is.
Here's why that's important. The more time dad spends with his kids, the less he will have to pay in child support. Before, divorces often meant that the mom walks away with the kid and a big child support check. After the law, that's not guaranteed anymore. Now critics, mostly women's groups, say this is unfair. They argue that some mothers feel trapped in bad marriages, even abusive ones, because they worry the dad will get half custody even if they divorce. And judges have been accused of ignoring abuse claims, all because the father didn't directly lay hands on the child.
If these fathers were truly dangerous to the well-being of their children, then the wives should have no problem providing concrete evidence of this behavior, but they usually can't because it never actually happened.
But here's the other side. Men see this as finally fair. Husbands say the system no longer rewards the wife for filing for a divorce just to get custody and child support. Instead, both parents have to share time, share responsibility, and share costs. So what Kentucky did was take out the financial incentive to blow up a marriage. And for a lot of men, that's exactly why they call this a win.
It's absolutely a win for men. Fathers get needlessly put through so much crap in divorce court and outside of it, mind you. But it's finally nice to see that they will get a fair chance to be able to raise their own children if the wife decides to leave him.
Divorce rates are dropping in Kentucky. I went there to figure out why. In 2018, Kentucky became the first state to make 50-50 shared custody the default. That means that children split their time equally between both parents, and fathers pay less in child support the more time that they spend with their children. Before that, judges decided custody based on what they called the best interest of the child. Fathers said that usually relegated them to an every other weekend arrangement, the so-called Disneyland dad effect, while mothers got to spend most of the time with their children.
It's insulting how much the role of fathers gets downplayed in today's world. It's not a hot take to say that children need their fathers.
Since the law passed, divorce rates have dropped. Between 2016 and 2023, divorces in the state fell 25%, compared to 18% nationwide. It's hailed as a victory for fathers' rights, but the story is more complicated. Some critics of the law say that people are staying in abusive marriages because they're afraid of leaving their children alone with a parent with a history of violence. One mom told me that her husband nearly killed her in 2023. She filed criminal charges and he was arrested. But less than 2 weeks after he got out of jail, a judge awarded him 50% custody of their son, indicating that the abuse wasn't a factor since he didn't lay hands on the child. The law has become a model for other states. Arkansas, West Virginia, Florida, and Missouri have passed their own versions of the equal custody presumption. Around 20 other states are considering it.
It's incredibly tragic how these things happen, but for every one legitimate example of a father being a monster, there are dozens of examples where that simply is not the case, but the mothers just think that one example applies to every single father.
How come you represent dads and not moms?
Because dads walk into my office and they're like, I want out, here's $5,000, call me when you need me. When mom walks in, it's, I want his heart, his soul, every bit of his skin, I want all the money, I want the kids, I want to get him fired from the job, I want him in jail, I want him turned into the IRS. He's an a-hole loser who never loved me, and oh, I don't have any money, you got to go to him to get it anyways.
It's deeply disturbing how these women don't want to divorce their husbands. They're so vindictive that they want to completely destroy their husbands and take as much as they can in the process. It's just a legalized smash and grab for these women.
She fought so hard so that this man doesn't get 50-50, and she's screaming around about how she's so happy that she's got primary physical custody because she was looking at the 61 days. And she said, if I can get primary physical custody, then I can get access. I already got the kids, And now the kids allow me to tap in to $61,000. And when the arbitrator says, fine, I will give you the kids, she's like, yeah. And then the arbitrator says, okay, and I'm gonna give you $4,000, more than your kids need, $4,000 a month in child support.
$4,000 a month in child support is way more than enough to support your children, but it's never enough for these women because in their eyes, that money is to support their personal lifestyles, not the needs of their own kids.
And y'all saw her reaction. She said, this is oh, come on. And look at Brian like, maybe this one, I don't really care either way. Is it really This is such...
Who dresses that way to go to court, by the way? She looks like she's about to go clubbing and she wears that to a court date. I mean, she's lucky the judge didn't hold her in contempt for not dressing properly, in my opinion.
There are going to be people online that say you didn't get married because he wanted you to sign a prenup.
Correct.
So why did you not just sign the prenup?
In that moment, it was, I'd rather walk away from something knowing that I chose myself than to spend the rest of my life not being loved the way that I love somebody.
Translation, I want to take his money and virtue signal while I do it.
Somebody.
Yep.
Women like this love to use flowery buzzwords to try and avoid answering questions. Crap like, I choose myself is just their way of dodging accountability by providing a nonsense answer to get out of telling the truth.
Does anyone else find it funny or even a little strange that the second Kentucky added laws for, equality in child support and custody cases during divorce, that suddenly divorce rates dropped 25%? It's almost like a lot of these women were only filing for divorce because they knew that they were going to win no matter what the circumstances were, right? Like, you could literally be a cheating tramp that has kids with other men and you're still going to get half. Not anymore.
It's disturbing how much this law was able to create such a massive decline in divorce rates. It really does go to show what some of these women are after, and it is incredibly diabolical.
Now it's like, all right, we got to look at the case and see who's actually better for the kids, who can, has a place to provide for them and can actually, give them a stable environment. Not, okay, well, so you get the kids, and well, since the man works, he's gonna pay for it. That's not how that works anymore. And I just think it's funny that the second they enact this, the rates drop. It's almost like if women can't have their life subsidized by their ex, they're more willing to try to make things work. And don't be like, but women are staying in abusive relationships. 71% of abuse isn't unilateral, meaning at least 7 out of 10 victims simply lost the fight they started. Not trying to cheapen what real victims go through, just saying that most of you aren't that. And rare cases don't, justify the whole, so you're still wrong.
Courts should be reviewing everything on a case-by-case basis for what would be best for the situation of the child, and the fact that most courts will just blindly side with the mother, regardless of the circumstances, just proves how broken we are as a society.
My last relationship, we broke up because he asked me to marry him, but then he asked me to sign a prenuptial agreement, and I said absolutely not. I think that's bogus. I'm not going to sign a piece of paper that says that if you leave me, I get nothing. Like, no, I think that I should have half of everything that you've worked your entire life for. And I think that's fair.
Well, you have to give her credit for at least being honest. At least she didn't talk about how a prenup means that he doesn't love her or something like that. She's still incredibly wrong and clearly a gold digger, but at least she's not bothering with trying to hide it.
I didn't date you for your money. I fell in love with your heart.
Well, then just sign the prenup and let this love story begin.
Love stories don't begin with prenups.
This one does.
Women don't need men for money.
Oh.
Statistics show single women own more houses than single men.
Yeah, from divorce.
Any woman who tries to emotionally manipulate a man into not having her sign a prenup has already shown him what kind of a person she is. If she doesn't care about his money, then she should have no problem signing the paperwork. It really is that simple.
The most shocking prenup I've ever seen, which was enforceable, had a provision that said that for every 10 pounds the wife gained in the marriage, she would lose $10,000 a month in alimony. He was very concerned that she was going to become less attractive and he was going to become more wealthy. So his solution to this was in the prenuptial agreement. He wanted a clause that said if they divorced, she was going to get like $70,000 a month for alimony.
70 grand a month in alimony is just plain greed, and it is insane. That's more than what a lot of people make in a year, and she gets to have it monthly. It doesn't matter the circumstances. There is no scenario where having that much money is necessary. That's just a blatant cash grab.
But for every 10 pounds she gained from the date of marriage, she would forfeit 10,000 a month worth of alimony. And it was designed to sort of create an incentive that she would remain thin. And that was enforceable, meaning they tried to challenge and set aside that provision. And the court said, this is a disgusting provision. I don't know why you married this person, but it's enforceable. It's a contract. The two of you signed it, and you had a right to sign it, and you agreed to these rules, and they may be ridiculous rules, but you agreed to them, and you have a right to do that.
If that guy had to add that provision into the prenup, then he clearly already had his suspicions that she was going to let herself go after sinking her claws into him.
Did you know that equal shared parenting laws decrease divorce rates? Well, it's true, and Kentucky proved it. In 2018, Kentucky passed a 50-50 equal shared parenting law. And since then, divorce rates have slowly declined. 25% decline, to be exact. Now, I know what some of these crazy toxic women are out here going to say, well, that's because women are locked in their marriages. No, that's because instead of walking away and thinking that they can weaponize the family courts to take the kids and get a shit ton of money, women realize that that's no longer possible in the state of Kentucky. So they're staying. They're working on their marriage. They're going to marriage counseling, and they're making it work in the best interest of their families.
It's funny how the denial of cash and prizes will make a woman just magically want to put in effort to make her marriage work. It's rather sad that it took them not getting free money to start putting in effort, but at least it's a start. But anyway, guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Drop a comment, and I will see you all in the next one. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Peace.